Hi guys! So we are starting on my deck collection, and this is the first set of decks in my deck collection. So as you can see here, we have the Visions Quest Tarot by Guy and Sylvie Winters and Joe Doze, and if I am mispronouncing that, I apologize. And then the other, I don't have the box for these, but this is by Denise Lynn. It is the Native Spirit Oracle. So we're going to get started with the tarot first. Now, these two decks are the only decks that I use for shadow work. And I want to make sure that we are in frame here. So we'll just kind of set that guy right there. All right, so I have, a couple extra cards, always, and the guidebook, which is, a typical guidebook. I mean, it's not anything extra special that I have ever really found. I do appreciate, like, a couple of them are renamed, like the Magician is renamed the Medicine Man. And you have a whole set of different keywords in this particular deck, an inner message and an outward manifestation, which is just kind of what you should do, which I really, really appreciate, especially given the fact that I am using this deck for shadow work. Okay, so that's everything. And then you go to the front, not the back, for some awesome layouts for card spreads. So there's actually like one, two, three, four. Okay, so there's 5 different spreads. I've never actually tried them, but I just do very basic layouts with my shadow work. But so there's the guidebook, and then I will show you guys the cards. Now, a couple of these have been renamed. A couple of majors have been renamed, and then a couple, I believe the suits are just, oh my gosh, the suits are just the elemental signs. So fire, oh my gosh, earth, water, and come on, air. Okay, so we'll start with the top one. So the shaman, as you can see, is been renamed as the Hierophant. So that I thought was kind of interesting. Some of them are kind of pippish, not all of them. Some of them are situational, like they have a whole scene on them, and then they also have a keyword at the bottom on most of the cards. The majors don't, and neither do the courts. So like grandfather has been renamed from the emperor. So like 2 of air, you see it's kind of pippish, but kind of not. And then mother is queen, father is king. Knight is sun, and son of earth, and here's the star. I love the star card. I think she is absolutely beautiful. And daughter is obviously page. So as you can see, very, very Rider-Waite-Smith. See, and there's the daughter, and I love this deck. I picked it up. Oh gosh, when did I pick this deck up? That is a really good question. I want to say Small Medicine Wheel is the Wheel of Fortune. I want to say late 2019. So like transformation instead of death. And I was looking for a deck. I wanted something that was, not even sure how you'd classify it. So not medicine, or medicine woman instead of High Priestess, Torment instead of the Devil. And I love the way they did this because it kind of reminds me of the Hanged Man. Oh, wait a minute. I might be incorrect on that. I'm going to check myself because that may not be the devil. That may be the Hanged Man. No, it is the devil. Okay. It is the devil. But it reminds me of the Hanged Man. And so that is all on me. But I like the way his hands are held. And that just kind of reminds me of the Hanged Man, because I know in a lot of those and I want to say it's the Eight of Swords, where she has put herself in that kind of situation. And it's the same thing with the oh gosh, with the Hanged Man. He's put himself in that. So chaos instead of the Tower. And I think that's beautiful. So Medicine Man instead of the Magician. The Lovers obviously are pretty much the same. And then see some more of the, it's more Pippish kind of, but still scenic, which I really, really appreciate. So Vision Quest instead of, oh gosh, my numbers. Oh my goodness, my numbers. I want to say 14 is the Temperance. Okay, I did have it correct. So yes, Vision Quest instead of Temperance. So yeah, again, with the more situational kind of Pippish looking cards. So I love this 3, especially because it's the 3 of air. I think it's absolutely, absolutely beautiful. So the 3 of water. And I really do, especially for this card, I appreciate that it's feathers instead of like a giant heart with 3 swords in it. I think this one's a little bit softer. But I picked this one up right about the time I started learning to reread tarot. I got my first deck when I was 21 for my birthday. And I loved it. It was a Rider-Waite-Smith, but I could not connect with it. So 11 is Life Force instead of, oh my gosh, I am kicking myself for not knowing these today. 11. Oh my gosh. Anyway, it's been renamed Life Force. So another 9. So there's another father. And I could not connect with that deck just at all. So when I started learning again a couple years ago, I was like, I want something with keywords. That was a big thing I wanted, is I wanted keywords. And the Hermit, I'm a Virgo, so the Hermit is like my card. And I love this Hermit card. Okay, we're gonna check and make sure we're doing pretty okay here. Okay. So I just love the words paired with the words that I already use with this deck. They make it easy to read and to kind of, put my own spin on these cards, along with the definitions that I already have for each card. And I wanted something, and the Clown instead of the Fool. This card's a little rough for me. I know he's supposed to be a clown, but I don't like this card and this version of this card. But I think that's kind of the point. So I just kind of suck it up and deal with it. And then the World is the big Medicine Wheel. The small one is the Wheel of Fortune, and the big one is that. And then you have Spiritual Warrior. It's also been renamed, and I love the way that they did this deck. I am like very, very tiny part. I think everybody's a tiny part, Native American to some degree. So I really wanted kind of a nod to that heritage. I do not claim to, know how much that this deck, so this deck follows Native American teachings, how actually correct this deck is, but I love it. So this has been renamed to Integration, and I understand why they renamed some of these cards, and I actually really appreciate that. A couple of them, as you can tell, I don't use this deck very often because it is just for shadow work, but I have not found that this deck has ever steered me wrong. And the messages that it gives me, it's kind of like, you're being an idiot. You kind of, I can easily sit with 2 or 3 or 4 of these cards. So 8 has been renamed to Balance. And I think it's such a beautiful, beautiful card. The colors in this is absolutely my favorite thing. And just the fact that it is so soft, but it really hits you. As you can see, my deck is fully upright. So my shadow work is very much, I don't like to read reversals. But if one shows up, then obviously that was supposed to happen. And one did actually. It was the Hierophant card, the Shaman, that was the first card on the top of the deck, and this Moon card. I was doing a shadow work spread. It was actually for some dream work about a week or so ago. And it was very odd. I pulled it as the second card, and when I pull, I do this and I flip my cards. Well, this card was upside down. The Shaman card was upside down, and I'm like, huh. I guess I mixed some upside down cards, and I must have reversed my deck when I shuffled it this last time. So I went through the entire deck to double check, and not a single other card had been flipped reverse. And I'm like, well, alrighty then. I will just we'll just see where that goes. And so 20 has been renamed Spirit Guide. This was a card I just pulled along with a couple other, and I love the ones that I pulled in a sequence. This was the second one. The other one had an eagle flying in this area, and this was also in, and I'm like, So there's a lot of just stuff you can pull from the background. There's so much good stuff. I mean, even just like this card is 6 of water. It says pleasure. And there is just, I love the flowers and the greens and the waterfall. And, if you were to pair that with something like, oh, here we go, growth. Okay, so pleasure and growth. And I mean, there's a lot there that you can take, not just the keywords themselves, but the pictures, your base keywords that you use. And it's just, it really works. I didn't intend it as a shadow deck or for shadow work when I purchased it, but I quickly found that this is how that deck worked, and that was how it ended up getting used. We're just gonna check, make sure we're still good. Okay, so this is my oracle that gets paired with my shadow work deck. So these are they have one word and they have a beautiful scenic view. I'll get to the guidebook here after I flip through these. And this is the only one I did put in back in order. I was thinking about doing that with all the decks that I'm going to show you guys, but I'm like, I don't have that kind of patience to go through like 10 decks and put them all in order. So, but I did put this one back in order, just because it wasn't very difficult. It's alphabetical order. So it was actually kind of fun to go back through all of these cards and like peek at them and be like, oh, I never get that card. Oh, that one's really pretty. Oh, this always reminds, I'm guessing it's Stonehenge, but that's always what I see. And I love the rainbow, and each of them is just, it's so different. And I don't typically pair them. It's always just a single card. That's what I pull, typically 2 or 3 of these. I grab one of these and the messages are so spot on when I need them. And I appreciate the hell out of this deck. It is just so, so helpful. So we'll get through the rest of these cards, and then I will pull out the guidebook. I love this storyteller. And I mean, this, again, I bought it because I wanted kind of a nod to the Native American. I figured that would be, a good start to kind of like, I bought like 3 or 4 other decks and none of them jived with me. And I'm like, I need something that I can use and I can learn with. And when I found out, I was scrolling through Amazon and I'm like, there's got to be something here that I can work with. And I think this one actually came before the tarot, or I ordered them at the same time. Either way, they ended up being both great for shadow work. So let me just flip through here. Okay, so smudging. There's a card meaning, and it's not just keywords. It's a whole like explanation. And I mean, we're talking like methods, and she explains how to use the cards and how you should take care of them, and like hidden meanings and all kinds of interpreting the cards, choosing the cards, preparation. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And then this is wants you to know so what you should be taking from this card meaning, and how you should then go about using what is in here in your life with this card. Like for the smudging, it says you should use some smoke or incense and wash over the top of your head, saying that I think clearly, and over your eyes that I may see truth, and to your throat that I may speak the truth, and over your heart saying that my heart will be open. That's not really stuff that I do, but I find that the stuff that they want me to know and the card meaning is more than enough. And they are in alphabetical order in the book. And I love that because it makes it so, so simple to find the card when I draw one. So let me just, you know what? I'll just do this. So like peace pipe. And we just go down to P. Peace pipe. So like the card meaning, heal old wounds with people and situations. Carefully do whatever you need to do to make amends. Forgive yourself and forgive others. It's time. You no longer need to carry the burden. You are a mender. Help others mend bridges in their lives. You bring peace to the world. So it's not keywords, but it is. But at the same time, it's a large jumping off point, which I appreciate. So like this one is saying like the journey, you should write down answers to the following questions, stuff like that. This is why I love this, because if I do decide that I'm like, that journey part, that thing I should do, maybe that would be a good thing to, try journaling with, or maybe I should try that today, just stuff like that. But yeah, so these two are my shadow decks. So kind of let me just kind of give you guys a view here, maybe. So I do think that they work really, really well together. So yeah. Let me just do a couple cards here, and then we'll just... Oh, now see, that is... So you've got excess and you've got depletion. Oh, and the white buffalo. I do try to do a little bit of kind of using my intuition with these, but like with these ones, when you have a white buffalo, like what are you supposed to do with that? And then I'll go to the guidebook. But with these, I kind of have a pretty good jumping off point. And then you just, All right, so yeah, we'll just go through maybe a couple more here. But yeah, like the warrior of the heart. I mean, I have a pretty good idea because it's warrior of the heart. But at the same time, the picture's of a giant polar bear. So it makes it a little more difficult. And in those scenarios, I go to the guidebook. This one I kind of think is a little bit more easy. Like you have Six of Water, which in this deck, they use the keyword pleasure. And you have the Medicine Man. It's the Magician, and they're all about manifestation. And you have Walking in Beauty. I mean, I can pretty much have know why these three cards would be together in a reading, but for this deck, I do go to the guidebook. Very rarely will I go to the guidebook for the tarot, but when I feel stumped, I'm like, okay, why did I draw this card? Why this card of all things? And yeah, again, with the Vision Quest and the Tower, I mean, that kind of, those are going to jive together pretty good. But then you've got growth, and then you're kind of like, I can just kind of sit there and be like, oh, I have a pretty good idea, but I'm going to go to the guidebook anyway. But yeah. And that is my time, everybody. That is my dog playing with her toy. We're just she's probably gonna be out in a while. So maybe not. Okay. We'll do one more. And since it's the trickster, ignore that. So like integration and the trickster and the devil. I mean, that in of itself. Okay. We will resume the next section of my decks as soon as it's quiet. Thanks, guys. Bye.